Hey, welcome back, guys. Will Meyer, the movie guy, is here to talk with us about some of the top movies at the box office this week. Will, thank you so much for being here. I know you want to get started. A lot of good movies this week.
Yeah, we've got The Happy Time Murders. This is a crime comedy that stars Melissa McCarthy, Maya Rudolph, Elizabeth Banks, and Joel McHale. This is a movie about the all-puppet cast of an 80s children's television show, and they begin to be murdered one by one. And so a disgraced LAPD detective turned private eye takes the case. This movie is directed by Brian Henson, who brought us Muppet Treasure Island, Muppet Christmas Carol. So this is, you know, an OG puppet guy. He knows his stuff. He met with Todd Berger, the writer, and they came up with this idea: what if puppets behave badly? What if they cursed, drank, smoked, did all kinds of other nefarious things I can't talk about on television?
Yes.
And they must have thought that was comedic gold, and that their work was just done, because that's all this movie is. Sean, is just you know, a bunch of scenes stitched together of puppets just doing awful things, and so. It thinks it's really clever and subversive, but it's really not. The script was written 10 years ago. Maybe it seemed a little more edgy back then, but now it really just doesn't. And so this movie, I laughed one time. I think it's pretty much a failure. I think that it's not even that the jokes don't land in this movie. It's just that there are no jokes. And so, we were talking to a guy over there a second ago, said he almost fell asleep during it. I felt his pain. This movie, you know, is an hour and a half long. It feels twice as long.
Ooh,
so, you know, it at least looks like it was fun to make. In the closing credits, you get to see the guys behind the scenes, you know, bringing the puppets to life, and so that was really neat. I would like to watch a behind the scenes about this movie rather than watch the actual movie, though. So I'll give it a star because of the craft, but really it's 1 out of 4. It's pretty terrible.
And even with Melissa McCarthy in there, it's just
she doesn't help it at all.
So next one, I actually want to hear your take on this one. Crazy Rich Asians. We talked about it on the show last week. It's this big kind of cultural thing.
Doing really well too.
And it's done well.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the first Hollywood movie in more than 25 years to have an all-Asian cast.
That's what I was
which is remarkable.
Yeah.
But in many ways, this is a traditional romantic comedy. It's about a young woman who accompanies her boyfriend on a trip to Singapore to see his family. When she gets there, she discovers that he is one of the wealthiest young bachelors in the world, and then she has to contend with a lot of unpleasant and jealous people, including his mother-in-law. Now, it is groundbreaking, you know, like I said, in that regard, but this is a very, very traditional romantic comedy. It's, you know, sort of an updated Cinderella story, and for better or for worse, this movie, you know, embraces every romantic comedy cliche and convention. It's got the mad dash to the airport. It's got the trying on dresses montage. But the cultural specificity of the movie makes it more interesting than it would otherwise be. You don't get too many romantic comedies with high-stakes games of mahjong, and you get that in this movie. So, good performances too, especially from newcomer Henry Golding. This guy was great. But as a romantic comedy, I didn't love this movie like a lot of other people did. I think that his character's underwritten, so I didn't really care about him that much. And the central romance, I didn't really feel the love between these two characters. Comedy's a little too broad for my taste, but even though some of the jokes didn't land, a lot of the emotional moments did, and I like the performances. This is light entertainment that goes down easily. It'd be very difficult to dislike this movie. So, I mean, so I'd say 2.5 out of 4 stars, pretty solid.
Cool. All right, and then the final movie here, we got about a minute left.
Okay.
This is what, Mile 22, right?
Mile 22. This is an action movie that stars Mark Wahlberg. He is an elite American intelligence officer that has to smuggle a mysterious police officer with sensitive information out of the country. This movie reunites Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg. They worked together previously with Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, and Lone Survivor. This is the first movie they've made together that's not based on a true story, and it's their first bad movie. Now, it's not the worst movie of the summer, like some critics have said. This movie does hold your attention throughout, and there are a couple of cool action moments, but there's not a lot to see here. It does have a secret weapon with Iko Uwai, who's this martial artist actor who's in the Raid films, which are amazing, by the way. If you haven't seen those, check them out. But he's kind of wasted here because this movie, every scene is edited within an inch of its life. Now, Sean, the average shot length in a movie, the average length of a shot in a film is 2.5 seconds. In this movie, it's 1.3 seconds. So it's constantly cutting. You can't tell what's going on almost at all times. So it's kind of just nauseating after a while.
I've seen movies like that.
Yeah. Oh, this one is the worst I've ever seen as far as that goes. The plot's kind of incoherent. The character's unpleasant, especially Mark Wahlberg. He's supposed to be likable. I think it would be very difficult, you know, to feel anything but just hatred for this character. He is so obnoxious. I can't even put into words. So, you know, if you're a pure adrenaline junkie, this movie's going to hold your attention throughout and give you some cool action moments, but it's not a good movie. 1.5 out of 4.
Oh boy! All right, well, good stuff. And Will, obviously, your Facebook page, we can get more movie reviews.
Yeah, Facebook. It's facebook.com/WillTalkMovies.
All right, well, good stuff. And there's Leslie right there. All right, let's take another look at your forecast here.